Removals have been in the UNFCCC framework from the beginning. It's not a new concept. What is new is this scale, this unbelievably huge scale that in and of itself raises additional governance questions. Now, my colleague here said, when there are challenges, there are opportunities. And that's also true with CDR. And there are some entrepreneurial groups who are using technologies like blockchain, people looking at different mechanisms on a small scale for CDR. And one could see, if the policy incentives were correct, that this represents a $1 trillion opportunity. Sucking carbon out of the air could potentially be a huge new market. And that's where governance comes in. Governance could provide subsidies, for example, or accelerated depreciation, or other incentives for people to take on that challenge. But thus far, there is no policy that covers the gamut of these needs. And so we are meeting with governments, we're meeting with the UNFCCC, their subsidiary bodies, saying, you have this new challenge now, we don't have the answer, that's for you to decide, but you need to look at it now. And it's extremely challenging because the climate regime, as it is extremely challenging. And in the last UNFCCC COP, just getting the Paris rulebook agreed is a huge challenge. And many governments have told us, wow, this is huge. This would have huge impacts on our land, our agriculture, our human rights, human habitation. We don't have the bandwidth to learn about this right now. We don't have the bandwidth to hire someone in our government to help us with policy making on these things. And so the educational training capacity building need is enormous. And I know a lot of what the World Bank has done for years and years falls into that realm. There's a huge need out there for training, for capacity building on how to grapple with the CDR challenge. I would venture that at least half of these countries don't really understand that to get to net zero emissions in 2050, they will need to use large-scale CDR. But there is the math, and this represents a huge challenge and a huge opportunity, a challenge for governance, even more than the science, of making equitable, inclusive decisions on this new era in our climate change discourse.